We're going to go over and interrupt Cousin Brucie. Yeah, let's, Alright, tell me when.
Alright, Slash Phelps here from the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame.
Hi, I'm Slash Phelps from the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame from Sirius XM 60s on 6. My first time actually inside. I usually take me.
Thank you. Good to see you. Thank you. Good to see you. I just stole my right. You're much better looking than Bruce. You're a beginner. I know. I haven't been to 8 radio stations from 7 p.m. I guess. You've never been all the now. You're an ABC boy. Oh, yeah.
Who's in charge here, Mike?
Who's in
charge?
I gotta get ready. Go on in about a minute. It's gonna be great. 1 minute. All right. You know, really makes more. We'll get some more people in. You guys, you come in and just join us for a few minutes. Okay. Yeah, we broadcast all over the world. I want to make sure people get a good rep. What about from Detroit? We get there.
Entertainment. Most of all, we have the King of the Airwaves, Cousin Brucie, our great friend, is here doing the show tonight. So please come up, visit with us. Autographs, photographs. Later on, we're going to have a local group of veterans performing, but also our good friends, the Amsterdams, who are famous for the great song "Grandma Ding Dong" from Youngstown, Ohio. So we have entertainment, we got fun, we got, as I said, Cousin Brucie and Sirius Radio. So please join us.
Fame in Cleveland. Chuck Berry. Elvis. The Beatles. Tonight, these coveted halls will shake with the sound of another legend. Broadcasting live from the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame on Sirius XM 60s on 6. Ladies and gentlemen, it's the Saturday Night Party with Cousin Brucie. On the air now.
Hi, everybody. It's your Cousin Brucie and welcome to Cleveland, Ohio. Home of the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame Museum. A lot of wonderful people here. We're live. I call the Rock Hall. We call the Rock Hall. We have people from all over the country coming down to say hi. Now, you're probably wondering, well, I was supposed to go on at 7 o'clock. It's now 7:16. Actually, what happened, Terry Stewart forgot to put a quarter into the meter. There's a parking meter outside, and Terry forgot to put the quarter. Now, actually, it was some kind of it's amazing. It amazes me. Go to the moon. We have all this technological facility. I can't get our voice out of the house. I have no idea. Somebody didn't throw the switch, but it's all set. We will look into it. Believe me, that person is going to hear from Cousin Brucie. Let me tell you, I think he came out of Washington, probably. And then again, you talk about Washington, a lot of things go wrong there. So what's one more thing? This is an easy one. Anyway, we have 4 hours to spend together. And tonight we're going to be celebrating the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. And that's what we're talking about. And it's mine? Let me tell you. Yeah, you got mine. Okay. The Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. So we're going to celebrate the inductees. Now, your Cousin Brucie was here when this first opened. Was it 1986, I believe? 1996, right? Thereabouts? 1996? I always want to say 86. I don't know why. And I was here was anybody here when this was opened the first year? Well, in 1995, we had a big ceremony outside. Thousands and thousands and thousands of people to celebrate what was going to happen. I don't think any of us really knew the importance of this building, because all over the world, this has become a symbol of the world's greatest music. And rock and roll, as everybody knows, and I've said this many times on Sirius XM, rock and roll has become truly the very first international language. Because you don't have to understand what the lyrics are saying, you just have a beat. Because rock and roll is heart. Rock and roll is an emotion. So let's start off right now. Cousins from the class of 2008. I love this. 2008, the class 2008. Cousins, Ian Clark 5. Rock and Roll Hall of Fame in Cleveland. Finally, the sun is out, and I'm looking outside. We had a little overcast today, a little bit of sprinkles, a little bit of rain, but now the sun is out, which is a very good omen. And was looking at the lake and I'm looking at the stadium over there, and a lot of things are happening. You know, do we have our winner? Is the winner here? What our Gary? I think his name is Gary. Gary K. Well, maybe he'll be here a little bit later. But Gary K. was the guy who won the sweepstakes we had. We had somebody come down, win, and there were over 7,000 entries to this thing. It always kind of interests me. It's always worthwhile to enter these contests quickly, because somebody's going to win it, and why not you? And we're going to be here for the next several hours, and we're broadcasting live here. And you cousins listening all over the country, whether east, west, north, south, up in Canada, my cousins in Canada, up in the Antarctic, down in Hawaii listening. They're listening all over the Philippines, in Europe, wherever you listen to Cousin Brucie. You can email and join in the show and just say hi to everybody here in Cleveland, or you want to say whom you like the best as an inductee into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. The address is the same. Cousin Brucie is the email address at SiriusXM.com. And we have those facilities. Unfortunately, today I don't have the telephone switchboard with me, right? And so that'll be next week when we come back. We'll come back to the city. We'll be live on Wednesday on SiriusXM 5 with Cruising with Cousin Brucie. And then, of course, on Saturday night like this, we're on from 8 to midnight, Brucie time, the Cleveland time, New York City time. But you can email me right now, Cousin Brucie at SiriusXM.com. And we'd love you if you're having an anniversary or a birthday or something, or just want to say hi that you're enjoying, but you will enjoy. We're just getting started a little bit. A little late start, but the steam is up. The steam is up. So we're going to do, what are you eating? That looks good. What is that, sir? You know, that looks like tartufo. What is that?
Chocolate mousse.
Chocolate mousse. And you got that. So where'd you get it? I never saw chocolate mousse here.
Right at the counter here.
Where do you come from?
Dayton, Ohio.
All right. You people know how to eat. You Midwesterners know how to eat very nicely. Keep on eating your ice cream. It looks very, very good. The class of Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, the class of 2004, everybody, as we're live here at the Rock Hall. And I just saw Flash Phelps just walk in, who was like he's my preset. On all my Sirius XM radios, I got Flash Phelps on, and we're going to meet Flash. And he and I are going to really meet for the first time out of emails and, of course, listening to him on the radio. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Bob Seger, class of 2004.
From the class of 2004.
Bob Seger was in my gym class. Ann Arbor High School.
All right, out of Michigan, Andover, Michigan, huh? All right, Andover High School. That's Bob Seger with the Silver Bullet Band, and because that's in the class of 2004. Hey, stand up here, sir. Hi, we have a nice audience here, and it grows as we grow and as we continue. If you are in and around the voice of Cousin Brucie and the next within at least 3,000 miles, you probably can still get here. And it's free admission to the broadcast, the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. And I'm so happy to be with you. And your name is?
My name is Gary Byers from Sharon, Pennsylvania.
Sharon, Pennsylvania. Now, that's let's see, now let me get this right. Let me see. Vocal Group Hall of Fame. So is that the correct?
That's correct, yeah.
Opened, 3 or 4 years ago.
Yeah, something like that. Tony Butel.
There's a big change. There's much more going on here. And with Terry Stewart, who's the CEO and president of the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame Museum, every day there's a new surprise. Have you seen the Bruce Springsteen exhibit yet?
I have not, yes.
Well, now you have to go. There's some very interesting things. What's the thing that really stands out in your mind right now?
Probably you.
Oh, boy. What are these guys? Well, I'm on a run for mayor or something like that. That's so nice. Thank you.
Listen, I have a story to share with you. I can remember being 9 years old and listening to you on a transistor radio. And that's the truth.
All right, now, let me ask you this question. How many transistors in that radio? Now I know how rich you were. The rich people had 4 and up, and the poor people, I guess, had 2 or maybe 3 that worked. How many?
I don't know. It was real.
What color was it?
It was brown.
All right. What was that great days? Did you put it under your pillow? Tell me.
I did. I had an earbud or whatever they call it, an earpiece, and my mother and dad didn't like me to have it, but I had it underneath the covers.
I used to have a thing, Flash and everybody else, called the Pillow Talk Club. And when you guys and gals put your radio underneath the pillows and got in a lot of trouble with your parents, you're supposed to be sleeping, you send to me, and I'd send you a card that gave you a free pass for no punishment. And I said, it's my fault, punish me. I kept the Pillow Talk Club card. All right, I want you to do a little work here, my guys. All right, I know you love your music. Give me a suggestion. What should we play next?
How about from 1988, the Four Tops?
Our class of 1948, Four Tops, and you a Four Top fan?
Yes, I am.
All right, my cousin, thank you. Four Tops, class of 88. Very nice. So we're here with the friends of Cousin Brucie really nice. I'm looking over the store there that has all the T-shirts and everything. Everybody take a look at the T-shirts. It's kind of fun. And every year they change all kinds of designs and everything. And there's so much activity here at the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. Really is nice. All right, so we're ready? We're all set? No? Oh, we're going to talk a little bit. All right. Well, Brian, what is going on? You don't have to write to me. Just tell me what's going on.
I'm trying to get John Sebastian through right now. We're dialing him up.
Okay, great. All right, let me know what's going to happen. So we'll do, all right, we're going to get John on in a couple moments, and whoever has a question for him. And as I said, we've been doing this for quite some time. Generally, we're up in the studio at the Alan Freed Studios here at the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. But this time I wanted to come and be with the peeps in the hood, as the kids say. Be with the peoples right on the neighborhood, and we're right on the floor with everybody. Then later on, I expect the Edsels. They'll be here live, and a group called the Momentums, I think, Momentums, right? We got John, we're all set. Hi, Cousin John, this is Brucie, how are you?
Hello.
All right, where are you, John? You home up in upstate New York?
Hey, yes, I am, Bruce. I'm up in the Woodstock neighborhood there.
We live in New York City. I'm telling this to the people, John. We have a real nice bunch of people here. We live in the city, but then on the weekends we have a home that we go half the week up near Woodstock, New York. And every once in a while I'm in Woodstock, and there he is, people surrounding him, and he's actually really one of the nicest people in the business. Ladies and gentlemen, John Sebastian.
How are you, cousin? It's good to talk to you again.
Well, John, let's talk a little bit about the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. I'm walking these hallowed halls here, and the year 2000 was very important to John Sebastian and the Love and Spoonful. What was that like when you got the nod that you were going to be inducted into the hall?
Well, I was thrilled. It was a very nice thing to have happen, and the only thing better was to see that Johnny Johnson got in the year after that. That was even more thrilling.
Right, good for you. Good for you. Well, listen, you've traveled a few miles, and I'm always very proud to call you a friend. And it's always so nice. You're always there every time we ask you to say hi. And I got a couple questions in the audience. First of all, can we have your name?
Hi, I'm Patty from Cleveland.
Hi, Shetty.
Hi, Patty. Patty has something to ask you, John.
Okay, Pat.
Well, first, John, I want to say hi, and I want to say I absolutely love your music.
All right.
And I wanted to ask you, how did you come up with the name for your group, The Love and Spoonful?
Well, I actually got the name from a song called Coffee Blues, which is a song by Mississippi John Hurt.
Thank you, John. Okay, let's go to somebody else. Your name?
Lynn Hollingsworth,
Where are you from?
Dayton, Ohio.
All right. Oh, Dayton, Ohio, cousin. All right, what do you want to ask John?
Hey, you're really a cousin because that's where my mom's from.
I know, and we just saw you in concert last week, and we just wanted to say that we really enjoyed it.
Aw, thank you.
Where did John appear? What was the venue?
The Phrase Pavilion, it was the Heroes of Woodstock concert.
Wow. Hey, John.
Yeah.
You're still carrying around. You're still carrying on a little bit, getting around all over the country. Are you still enjoying touring? You like to do this kind of thing?
Well, I'm lucky in that I'm working with my road manager from the Love and Spoonful. We go back a long way, and we have our kind of habits all worked out. It's just been a very good season and not too hard to do.
All right, good. Is there another question for you? And for John Sebastian.
Hi, John. My name is Cindy, and I'm from Sharon, Pennsylvania.
Hi, Cindy.
Nice to talk to you. I'm just wondering how you got started.
Well, I got started playing harmonica, accompanying other people. People like Timmy Hardin and Fred Neal. These are people that aren't maybe the most famous songwriters, but these are guys who influenced a lot of people that you know, like Crosby, Stills, and Nash, and the Spoonful, and so yeah, it was working as a harmonica player.
You've traveled a few miles since the harmonica days. We're talking to John Sebastian live here at the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. It is your Cousin Brucie. We're doing our Saturday Cousin Brucie Rock and Roll Party live. Hey, John, let's see. We picked out a song. We asked the people here in the audience what song would you like to hear? So a little bit of Summer in the City. How about that? A little story behind that?
Perfect, absolutely. My brother, Mark Sebastian, had this song, and it was really the core of it was Summer in the City, the chorus. I started fooling around with the verse a little bit and came up with that piano figure and some of that, the stuff that's in the beginning. And Mark is who wrote But at Night It's a Different World, and that whole chorus part.
All right. So wait, one more question. Somebody's raising their hand there. I thought you had to go leave the room, sir. He's all excited to talk to you. What is your name?
My name's Dave Howard from Jamestown, New York. It seems like not long ago. Were you in concert either there or Chicago Institution?
I think so.
I can't remember exactly when, but I enjoyed also in this very Hall of Fame your singing in the Woodstock Pavilion down there where the movie was playing.
Yeah.
You used a couple terms that I hadn't heard before.
Like what? What were the terms?
I don't know if I can say them right.
All right, you better not. Okay. Not in my show. Howard Stern, yes. Flash Phelps, yes. But not in mine. Absolutely not. Thank you very much. John, thank you so much for being with us here live on our phone, and look forward to entertaining you and seeing you very soon and giving you a big hug.
Bruce, always good to talk to you. I look forward to seeing you whichever one of my hometowns you end up in.
Okay, good deal. John Sebastian, everybody. Class of 2000 Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. Countdown, Summer in the City. All right, what's next, Scotty? Glad you played that. I like that one. 1991, class of 1991, the Wicked Wilson Pickett. And your name, my dear?
My name is Liz.
Liz, where do you come from?
I come from Geneva, Ohio.
And did we have a pass together?
We had a pass together under my pillow at night.
Oh, I like that. All right, what she's talking about now, take it easy, folks. Take it easy. What we're talking about here is something we call the Pillow Talk Club, right? And I used to tell people they can listen under the pillows, and I'd give them a club card, and Mom got angry at them, as I told you before. You give them this card, and on the back of the card it said, "Do not get angry, it's my fault, Cousin Brucie."
Oh, that's awesome.
Did it ever work?
I didn't have one of those cards. I just had to be really quiet and pretend I was asleep. And
You have a very look. You got a.
somewhere in here.
All right, he's someone's probably. Where are you? Well, what is your husband's name?
My husband's name is Don.
Hey Don, come on up here. We're on the radio. We're on Sirius Satellite Radio. What is it that you're having a big time here?
We're having our anniversary this weekend, so we decided to come to Cleveland.
What anniversary, man?
We're having our 21st anniversary.
Isn't that nice? 21 years, everybody. Yeah, very good.
Runs before we got together, but we're good now.
Practice makes perfect, you know that. Absolutely. And tell me about the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. What brings you back here all the time?
The Rock and Roll Hall of Fame is our life. It's our entire life. You can't think back to your childhood without thinking of rock and roll if you're my age, which we won't mention over the air.
No, it's fine to mention over there. Be very proud. You know, people always say, "Hey, Brucie, we know how old you are." You Google, you know. And I always say to people, "Are you kidding? I'm proud of it. I'm so proud of it."
They wanted to give me Botox the other day at the cosmetic counter. I said, "No way, this is my life, baby, right there."
You don't need it. You're a beautiful woman. You're a beautiful woman. Well, you know what you just said about the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame is very, very true. Everything as you walk here, every couple feet, you say, "Wow, I remember that," or "I remember this." It really is. It's sort of like a timeline to our lives. They did such a great job here.
Connect each thing to an experience you had, what it reminds you of, who it reminds you of, or where you were at that time. It's awesome.
Now, when and if you find your husband, which you will, eventually, he's watching, he's there somewhere, please give him my very best. And let's everybody wish you a very happy anniversary. Yeah, thank you, man. Thank you for being with us. Enjoy your t-shirt. Thank you very, very much. All right, let's go to the class of 1996. The class of 1996 inducted the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. This group has a lot, means a lot to Cousin Brucie, a lot of memories, which is all this music. That's what I've become keeper of the flame. I accepted that job, and I'm never going to let this music go. The music of the 50s and 60s is so much part of our lives, so ingrained in what we're doing, and I can promise you, it'll always be here for us. And in 1996, they inducted this group that was my very first friends in the business. because I went to entertain some troops in the United States Army, and I didn't have any friends. I was a young kid. Nobody knew Cousin Brucie. I came from Lubbock, Texas, you know. Then I went to Brooklyn, New York, which is part of Lubbock, Texas, part of Texas. Brooklyn, New York touches the northern part of Texas. Texas is all over the place, and there's no two ways about it. I got a cousin here from Texas, San Antonio. By the way, I was stationed in San Antonio. I was in the Atlantic. Yeah, we told them. Everybody was. Anyway, the Shirelles said, Brucie, yes, we'll come with you to entertain the troops. My first good friends in the business. From the class of 1996 here at the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame on Sirius XM 6, Cousin Brucie live with the Shirelles. So email me, and then next Saturday we'll get back doing our thing. And Lisa, thank you for everything. Lisa, my dear Lisa, here. The class of 2001. Richie Valens, did he mean anything to your lives? This is an amazing. We realized Richie, we only had him here for what, a couple of years. It was such a young boy. Now, for those of you who remember this past year, Brucie and Brian, we were out in Clear Lake, Iowa, and we celebrated the 50th anniversary of that tragic night, the day we lost the 3 stars. Richie Valens' family was there, lovely people, and he was a guy that just starting his career and in a short amount of time really impressed all of us. Ladies and gentlemen, inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, 2001 class, La Bamba. Everybody, thank you so much. Really a wonderful bunch of people here. We have some real terrific fans of rock and roll, and I'm so happy to be once again in Cleveland. And your name, please?
My name is Patty.
And Patty, where do you come from?
I come from Cleveland, Ohio.
All right, Cleveland. I got some Cleveland cousins here. That's really good. Well, Cousin Patty, I'd like you to do the honors here. In 1988, probably one of the greatest rock and roll groups ever to come into our lives, called the Beatles, John, Paul, George, and Ringo. And as you know, I was very involved with them at Shea Stadium, introducing them, and they've had a tremendous meaning in my life. In my new book called Rock and Roll, as the beat goes on, I do a whole story on what they mean to me and what some of the events in the Beatles' lives. When was the first time you heard a Beatles record?
I'll tell you, in the older days, I had a pink little transistor radio.
Wait a minute, a pink little transistor radio. My goodness, how many transistors? I always like to ask people that. Do you remember?
I'm a girl, I don't know about transistors.
Oh, don't say that. Somebody out there is going to say, uh-oh. All right, and what happened when you heard it for the first time?
Well, I used to sneak and listen to it at night, and I remember listening to CKLW.
A great radio station.
Absolutely. And I was in love with Paul. I used to dream about Paul. I remember I was listening to that radio, and on came the Beatles.
There you go, ladies and gentlemen, from the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, 1988 class, John, Paul, George, and Ringo.
Dead air.
You're listening to a special edition of Cousin Brucie's Saturday Night Party, live from center stage of the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame in Cleveland, Ohio. And now back to the Cuz.
All right, we have it back here on the floor. Okay, my friends, ladies and gentlemen, we're here at the Rock and Roll. Hop down somewhere in the city. What's going on? Hey, Dusty Street, what are you doing? Dusty, is the street too dusty up there? All right, Dusty, wait for me. Wait for me, guys. Wait for me. All right. Everybody, this is a live broadcast, and these things happen. All right, because what I want, Dusty, get Bobby Darin ready for me. Get Bobby Darin ready for me. Greg, let's see what we're going to do with that. All right, so the class is 1988. So what we're doing here, Cousin Brucie's at the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, and I said, let me do it from the floor. Normally I do it from the studio. Now, if I can get all you people in the studio, I'd be in the studio, or I'd be pushing the buttons, I guess, that type of thing. but I love being here, you know, with the audience. It means a lot to me because I find out what you guys are thinking or what you want to do. We have a lot of special guests coming on the show. We have some live a cappella groups coming on. The Metronomes will be here in a couple moments, locally from Ohio, and the Edsels are coming in a little bit later on, and Bill Medley's supposed to be calling in to us, and Gene Cornish of the Rascals. So we have a lot of wonderful guests, and of course the most important guests are my guests in the audience. These people here. That's what I like. All right, so the class is 1988. I guess everybody ready up there? You all set, Brian? Okay. Ladies and gentlemen, this is one I think I love this song because this song, the record company, I think it was Atlantic, told Bobby Darin in those days, I call them the stiff shirts, the suits, told him, we don't want you doing that song, it'll never make it. It's ridiculous, right? Darin said, you don't know what you're talking about. Darin, of course, I mean, a brilliant young guy. We lost him too early in his life. And he went out and he formed a group. He said, all right, I won't use the name Bobby Darin. I'll do my own group. And he called themselves the Rinky Dinks. It's Bobby Darin. Ladies and gentlemen, for the class of 1988, the Rinky Dinks.
Well, you gonna miss me.
Well, you know, your Cousin Brucie is very proudly a family member of Sirius XM. And those of you here, I guess a whole bunch of you listen to Sirius XM? Yes, they do. Boy, I'll tell you, it's amazing what has been happening here. The millions and millions of people have listened to us. And we have what we call presets on, you know, your Sirius XM radio receiver. Well, my very first preset is set to a guy named Flash Phelps. Flash Phelps on every single morning on 6, on the fabulous 6, Good Time Rock and Roll 6. And he's here, he drove up. Now you go, Flash Phelps, you go everywhere, don't you?
I sure do. That's why I re-recorded I've Been Everywhere Man, that I worked everywhere, man. So you only worked for 8 stations in your 52 years. I ended up in 26 years on about 17 radio stations. That's how you do it.
That's why they didn't like you?
I heard P-H-I-R-E-D so many times. I don't think you've ever heard that one.
Where'd you get the name Flash?
That actually came from a guy who loved 60s radio, and his name was, and he had a character that anytime something would go wrong on the radio, he said, "Oh, Captain Flash, wrong button." Well, I was interning for him, and he was a big 60s radio fan, and he said, "You want to be Flash?" I said, "That's great." So I became PHLASH, PHLPS, wanted to call the show something like The Zoo, but Funny Farm was perfect, PHONNY, and then anytime it's from somewhere, it's PHROM, and whatever the city is. So
I don't know what, I don't have no idea what you just did. I have no idea. Does anybody know what he's talking about?
PHOW along with it. I know it happens pretty fast here.
It sure does. But you know, I come to Cleveland, I come out of New York City, right? Where everything is very like lightning. I come here, within 2 hours I sort of slow down, I relax. I like the relaxing feeling. Then you come along, you're upsetting me again.
I know, I did it. And one of the things that I was given in the very beginning when I got in the radio, I was 17 years old, and they gave me a tape of your show. It was all of WABC Jocks. I heard it, and I heard what you did, and I said, I want to do that in Top 40 radio. So I was doing Currents, playing all these songs as Currents, doing 60s type radio. I think that's why I heard You're Fired more than anything. But then when they were putting together XM at that point, they ended up calling me in and they said, we want you to do the 60s. And it worked out. And I remember when we used to compete against each other, I'd be on a Saturday night when it was XM Sirius and then you were on Sirius. I'm glad we've come together because now I don't have to work Saturday nights.
I thought because you like to listen to me. Well, Flash, seriously, what I love about what you do, and you know, my heart is so 100% into this. I take this very seriously. This music is my life. I've devoted my life to it. And I love what you do because I always say, like I say earlier, you have the emotion and you have the heart and the soul of rock and roll. And that's very important to me.
It's incredible. And the same thing with you, just to be on the same radio station as you, a legend. I am so honored to be the morning guy for you being on. So that's why I love talking about you. And I said, I am coming to Cleveland to be able to meet Cousin Brucie for the first time. And this is the first time we've met.
You and I have talked on the phone, on the radio, emailed each other all the time. And
people say, hey, is Cousin Brucie mad at you? He didn't mention you this hour.
Now, people take it very seriously. Well, you know, here we are saluting the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame live on Sirius XM 6, the Super 6 as I call it. And now we're taking a look at all the inductees of this great institution. You've been here before, haven't you?
I would, and I would come outside just to do pictures of this place. I love the architecture of the place. But this is actually my first time inside. They always somehow lock me out. Walking around for the first time inside.
Well, we want to welcome you. I know Terry Stewart's very happy to have you here because, you are very much part of the history of what we're doing here. So let's continue a little bit. Yeah, Brenda Lee. You may meet little Brenda Lee?
Yeah, I got that Brenda Lee on the air with me, and she actually took the Fan Clan oath a couple of years ago. She was in Nashville, and she was on with Country Dan, and Country Dan called me, and he said, hey, come on here, you can talk to Brenda Lee. And I had the best time. I made fun. I said, I love your hair. She goes, don't make fun of my do.
Well, she's been in the business, Flash, over 50 years now, and she's a grandma, and she listens all the time, and she's a honey. She's just a sweetie. All right, why don't you you do the flash. You flash this on for me. This is what we're going to do. Class of 2002. Here's the mic.
Oh yeah, hello. It's the Flash from 20 Farm here on Sirius XM 60s on 6 on Cousin Brucie's show on Saturday. It was Brenda Lee. She is actually a part of the Flash from 20 Farm fan clan, and back in 2002, she got herself into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. She's inducted in this building doing sweet nothings here on Sirius XM 60s on 6. Yeah!